Hello guys, welcome to my channel The Computer Society. This is our third lecture in the Java course. In this lecture we will talk about the object-oriented programming. Because object-oriented programming is the heart of Java, it is completely impossible for anyone to learn Java without learning the concept of object-oriented programming. So let's discuss about this topic today. Okay. What is object-oriented programming? In short, it is called OOP. Object-oriented programming treat everything as an object. What is object? Object is a something that represent a real-life entity. Mean real-life entity is anything that have some characteristic and functions. Like I am like I am an entity. In another word, I can say this: I am an object. I have some characteristics just like my names, age, height, etc. And I have some functions too, I can walk, I can learn, etc. Okay, so the basic thing of the basic thing behind the object oriented programming is the object. Okay, object is anything in the real life that have some characteristics. Okay, and let's proceed. You will learn it in depth when we go further in the course. Okay. The first element of the any object oriented programming is abstractions. What does the abstraction mean? Okay, the basic element of any object oriented programming is abstraction. Abstraction hides the complexity of program from the users. Abstraction, what does the abstraction do? Abstraction just hide the complexity of a program or anything from the users. Here look to this example. Here, if someone receives a call, this is the interface that we have two options: one to cancel the call and another to receive the call. If we click on the receive the call, so we just pick up the call, but we don't know the underlying complexity of this code, that what is going behind the picking button, okay, and what is going behind the rejecting button. We don't concern with this. So the basic aim of abstraction to hide the complexity from the users and just provide ease to the end user or the programmer. Okay, we will talk about later. And abstraction can be achieved by two methods. First, in the Java, abstraction can be achieved by two methods. The first one method is declaring the abstract class with the keyword abstract. We will talk about it later. And the second one method is interface. Okay, we will talk all of these methods and later. Okay, let's proceed. There are three OOP principles. The first one principle is encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. Let's talk about it one by one. What does encapsulation mean? A method or procedure that bind data and code that work on the data and keep both safe from outside interferences and misuse. Encapsulation just hide the data from the outside world. Okay, encapsulation hide the data from the outside world for the purpose that the outside world do not misuse our data. Okay, in other words, we can say that encapsulation is a protective wrapper that prevent data and from being arbitrarily accessed by other code defined outside the wrapper. In other words, we can say this encapsulation is a box, okay, which protect our data, and it doesn't allow outside world to enter to the box and access the data inside the box. Okay, so look to this example. This is the example of encapsulations. Here you can see this uh, the material inside this transparent box is a variable, and this transparent box is considered as a method, and class wrap all these methods and variables. This class is a protective shield for this methods and variable. This class doesn't allow any outside class to access this method in variable. Okay, so actually and here I talked that encapsulation is a wrapper. So this wrapper is actually referred to a class. Okay, class actually protect this methods and variable from outside world. Okay, oh, this is a example of another encapsulation example. Okay, here we have a class that have some attributes and functions, but this class have their own attributes and function, and this is the outside code. So this class doesn't allow this outside code to access this data. Okay, so this class is a wrapper for this data, and this is the basic theme of encapsulation. Okay, I think it will be clear for now. I think it's clear for now. If you have some question, then just write in the comments. Okay, then we have an inheritance. Inheritance is the second principle of this is the process by which one object acquires the property of another object. Inheritance is just like in real life, a child has some quality of its parent. In the same way, in the Java or any other object-oriented programming, we derived some class from the parent class, and this child class have some properties of its own, and some property derived from the parent class. Okay, that is actually top-down classification. As you can see, this is a mother, and this is the child of this mother. Okay, and so this mother have their own characteristic, and this child maybe have their own characteristic, but some of the characteristic of this child will be inherited from the um, parent class. Okay, from its mother. Okay, now inheritance, and if we talk about the inheritance specifically in the Java, so we have a parent class and we have a child class. We derive this class from this parent class. Okay, we derive this child class from this parent class. Parent class have their own object, and this is the object of child class. Okay, if we instantiate this child class, means if we declare the object of the child class, this class will have their own characteristic too, and it will derive some of the characteristics from the parent class. Okay, so this is the basic concept of inheritance. I think it's will be clear. If you have any query, then just write in the comments about inheritance. Okay, polymorphism. What is meant by polymorphism? Polymorphism is a Greek word mean many form. Poly mean many, amorphism mean forms. Okay, polymorphism is a feature that allow one interface to use for a general class of actions. In polymorphism, we use one interface, and we have multiple code and behind. Okay, but it is the responsibility of compiler to decide which one function should be called at this time. I will elaborate this later. Okay, one interface and multiple method. This is the motive of polymorphism. Okay, in general polymorphism, we express polymorphism by this one phrase, one interface and multiple methods. Okay, this is the example of polymorphism. Let we have an interface. This interface tell to the user that please enter your first number and enter your second number. If user enter your has first and second number, it may be integer, float, or double. Okay, and then if it click in the submit button, then these function will be called, but it is the responsibility of compiler to call which one functions. If user enter the integer, for example, if the user entered an integer, it is the responsibility of compiler to call this first one function because the argument of this function is integer. If user enter here float number, then it is the responsibility of compiler to call this sum float, this sum which have the float arguments. Okay, and if user enter some double numbers, so this is the responsibility of compiler to call this some double. Okay, the compiler will automatically call according to your need. If you enter an integer, so compiler will automatically call this integer sum, and if you enter a float, the compiler will automatically call this sum of floats. Okay, so this feature is called polymorphism. Okay, this feature is called polymorphism. There are two types of polymorphism. The first one is a compiler time polymorphism, and the second one is a runtime polymorphism. The compiler time polymorphism is achieved by function overloading, and the runtime polymorphism will achieved by the function overriding. These are two terms used in the Java. We will discuss it later. Okay. And compiler time polymorphism is a polymorphism in which the method compiler decides the method and the compile time, that which method will be executed by this interface. Okay, and at runtime polymorphism, the exact method will be the exact method that will be decided on the runtime, not on the compile time. Okay. Thank you for watching. If you have any query about this lecture, then just write in the comments. I will answer it very soon. Okay, thank you for watching once again.